Hi guys, so George Eustice certainly likes living up to his name as he attempts to emulate Martin Lewis, the money-saving expert. What am I talking about here? Well, the former UKIPper and current Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs told Sky News viewers how they can save money during the cost of living crisis. Now, this follows an embarrassing interview Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, had on Tuesday where he lied about bus passes and then completely missed the point. Have a listen to George Eustice's advice.
The thing to bear in mind is that if you look at household spending on food in the UK, it's actually, the lowest in Europe, partly because we've got that very competitive market. It used to be for the poorest 20% of households, about 16% of their income used to go on food. That dropped a few years ago to about 14%. It's going to rise again now, but generally speaking, what people find is that by going for some of the sort of value brands rather than, own branded products, they can actually sort of contain and manage their household budget. But it will undoubtedly put a pressure on household budgets. And of course, it comes on top of those high gas prices as well.
So George Eustice's advice is buy cheaper brands. So people who have been cutting down already, his advice is, well, buy cheaper food. Does he not think that people are already doing that? Complete disconnect here. Now, he's partly responsible for the problems that people are facing. And this is from the Guardian 6 months ago. It says, now it's official, Brexit will damage the economy long into the future. It says, yet the Office for Budget Responsibility in its report on Wednesday's budget estimates that the long-term impact of Brexit will be more than twice as great as COVID. It thinks that Brexit will reduce UK productivity and hence GDP per capita by 4%, while the impact of COVID on GDP will only be 2%. So the pandemic is not as bad as Brexit. Brexit is twice as bad as the pandemic. Now, you're probably asking, well, why am I bringing Brexit into this? Well, because George Eustice used to be the farming minister, and he said this in the run-up to the referendum, and he was part of the Vote Leave campaign. He said farmers will be better off if we vote to leave the EU. George Eustice is not in the same boat as anyone else, because it says here, according to Full Fact, MPs can claim up to £25 in food expenses per night, but only if they are staying overnight outside London or their constituency as part of the parliamentary activities. This £25 can cover food purchases during the day, but cannot include alcohol. So as an MP, he can claim up to £25 a day in expenses. Well, how much were his expenses in total? Well, from 2020 to 2021, he claimed £194,963.88. Now, not all of this, of course, was for food, okay? That would be insane. But this, he claimed these in expenses. Once again, complete and utter disconnect from reality. And in another case of disconnect from reality, we have this from the Daily Mail from last year. It says here, butler on a Boris bike smuggled £27,000 of organic takeaways at cost price into number 10 for Prime Minister under his real name Alex and Carrie Simmons over 8 months. And some was paid by the wife of a rich Tory donor. So maybe George Eustice's advice should not be look for cheaper brands in the supermarket, but reach out to a Tory donor and they will pay for the food instead of you paying for it. This is absolutely insane. And this is not advice to people who are already struggling. The real solution is to provide funding for the public. Provide them the money they need to pay their bills, increase welfare payments, increase the money available to people who are struggling at the moment. That is the solution, not this stupid, ridiculous idea of, look around the supermarket for something that's a bit cheaper. Once again, does he not think people are already bloody doing that? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.